Hi, I'm Terry. This is my buddy Bruce. And welcome to Toad Hopper Ranch. Bruce is the CEO of the place. He says very little unless it's really important.
And Bruce is going to have to
move
so I can sit here.
And
Hi.
this is Dana.
I'm Dana. And yep, that's Bruce of Toad Hopper Ranch. We haven't really sat down and had any conversations with you about who we are and why we're here and why this place is called Toad Hopper Ranch. But we're coming up on a 1-year anniversary of us being here. And we thought it would be appropriate in just a few days we have been here 1 year. Here is Missouri, and we moved here from Ohio and got here the day before Thanksgiving.
We celebrated our first Thanksgiving here last year, and thanks to the Dollar General store, which is the closest place you can get anything to eat, we dined on hot dogs and pork and beans, and it was very good.
Yes.
And much appreciated.
Yes, much appreciated. We shared that with Terry's brother and his wife. They moved us, or helped move us here, and very grateful for them. And we had some very kind people that we hadn't even met meet us here at 1 o'clock on that day and helped us unload a 26-foot U-Haul.
And it was probably not your average U-Haul. We had rocks, we had chains, we had woodworking equipment, and I was too cheap to buy boxes, so I packed them too tight. And we really appreciate you guys if you see this, and all the other folks that have helped us. They saved our hide.
That noise you just heard is our cat sneezing.
Yeah.
She's the only critter that we have here, but we are surrounded by critters. Well, besides the toads. So we moved out here, and we're surrounded by cattle ranches, and a lot of the cattle ranches have a sign up that this is such a ranch or a farm or whatever, and we felt kind of left out, so
now we have a ranch.
yes.
And if it would fit in the picture, I have a ranch hat.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite fit
Well,
the picture.
You can put it on if you want. It looks like it just cut the top off.
We wanted to make it official.
So we named it Toad Hopper Ranch because we have a lot of toads and
Tree frogs.
tree frogs, toads, and one of our friends said that was a good thing because that means that we don't have very many snakes because they would eat all those animals. But we just thought it would be fun to call our place something and fit in with the rest of the neighborhood. So it's just a fun thing. We have made up stories about it that we don't eat our toads or frogs. We raise them as breeding stock only. And
We won't go any farther than that.
use your imagination.
We do want to say that one of the things that we love about this place at night, you can sit out here and listen to the tree frogs, and it's just truly amazing. I think she put a video online, just the sounds that are out here at night. Now, when the coyotes take down a deer or something, that's a different ballgame. That makes the hair in the back of your neck stand up.
Yeah, there's a lot of coyotes around, and I haven't really seen them. They sound like they've been close to the house a few times, but we haven't really seen them. We this is so silly. We bought a lawn sweeper, which we have declared now that is our toad harvester, and it even says it on the front, Acme Toad Harvester, just after like the Roadrunner and Coyote.
She made the decals for it, Well, out of her T-shirt making materials.
Yes, and we both have shirts that say Toad Hopper Ranch, and a few select people that either wanted them or our family members have them. So it's the same toad, and it says Toad Hopper Ranch. So we're having fun with that, and so. We're not right.
Yeah, a little heads up on the not right stuff. For you guys that watch the video, you will know more than some of the others in the area, but soon to be on our sign is going to be a sign that says no eggs today. Now, just between you and me, the reason we don't have any eggs today or tomorrow or the next day is because we don't have any chickens.
That's true.
But we just thought, we see all these guys around here advertising. We have brown eggs and all this and that. We're just going to put up a sign so we don't feel left out and just tell everybody we don't have any eggs today. But that's why, because there's no chicken. We actually gave away our chicken coops that we had on the property. We just wanted to kind of make this video and let everybody that follows us back in Ohio and other places just let you know what we're all about.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people moving to Missouri right now and other states like Arkansas and Idaho, and there's a big movement of people that are kind of into homesteading. Back in the early days in the 70s, there was the Mother Earth movement, and we kind of just want to let you know where we're at. We're none of the above.
We're not homesteaders.
No.
We're not trying to live off the land. Well, we have a garden.
We're trying to live off the garden.
Yeah.
We came from an agricultural background. I'm probably, I guess you'd have to say, first generation off the farm, but I majored in horticulture in high school, took 3 years of that, and paid for my pilot's license and motorcycles and everything else from an agricultural income. And grew up with a tradition of planting a garden, and you would can or freeze or whatever method you have of preserving those vegetables until the next season, so that you got to eat your own food for the majority. Now, we've never achieved that. Even in Ohio, we had a good garden, but we still
did a lot
have.
of canning.
We did a lot of canning. Sometimes God blessed us with a lot, and sometimes not so much. Last year here was not so much, but we've got work to do, and we know it.
This is Falcon. Hold my coffee a second.
Sure.
Also known as Bubby, and I'm not sure exactly how old she is. She came to our house as a stray. She has one ear cut off because somebody got her fixed, and when they do that, then they turn them loose in the wild, but they cut the tip of their ear off to show that they've already been fixed. So, but she's been a good girl, and I'm guessing that she might be 11 years old. She's pretty feisty, so she runs the house basically, tells us when to get up and when she wants to eat.
It's interesting. She generally starts yelling at Dana exactly at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So Dana gets up at 7. We'd like to talk a little bit about how we got here and how we picked Missouri. And Dana has lived here before. Maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Well, I lived here in the 80s, not exactly in this area, but I lived about 40 miles east of here. And set down some roots, and my family moved out the year after I did, back there in the 80s. And, well, it was actually my mom, dad, and 2 brothers. And then in 86, I had to move back to Ohio, but my family remained. Then my dad passed away. My mom moved back and moved in with my sister, but I still had 2 brothers here, and they both married local women. So that's how I have family here. But I also have longtime friends from back then that I'm still friends with today. And it's just been a blessing to be able to come back. I never really wanted to move back to Ohio. It's just a different life here. It's less crazy, although we still have there's drugs and stuff around here, but it's not like it was where we came from.
It's not in our front yard.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
was.
50 feet from the front door of the house.
It was back there, so we're glad to be out here. Feel very blessed. We have 5.3 acres, and most of it's level. A lot of it has dirt on it, which is a rare thing because it's mostly rocks around here. And if you watched our last video, you saw us trying to dig through it to put in our sign. And so we're just doing one thing at a time. The house needed a lot of work. It's 40 years old, exactly. And there's several outbuildings, and they all were left to do whatever things do, and they're not maintained. So for 40 years, nothing had ever been done to the house or the outbuildings or anything. And so we're repairing a lot of rot. We took the siding off of the house here, and we put up steel siding. This is wood, and we just painted it because it was real in good shape because we have an enclosed porch over top. We had some structural issues under the house, so we've spent time under the house digging out the crawl space.
We hadn't planned on that one.
No, and we had our floor joists were, our main beam was too small to hold up the house, and they weren't supported by anything but some bricks that were sinking into the ground. The floor joists cracked under the weight, so we have 3 or 4 floor joists that we have to replace because they either cracked or they're termite damage. We've had a termite company come in, and they've taken care of all the termites and all the buildings and all the other bugs and stuff, cockroaches and all the stuff you get from just neglect.
All the fires have been put out, so we're not in any kind of an emergency state right now. We can kind of pay as we go on our repairs. This is not our first rodeo for repairing a house.
Well, let's just say what we want to do coming up on this house.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, we're going to do the other buildings. We're going to put siding on them because what is on all these other buildings are masonite, which I guess was all the rage back in the 80s, but it's like, what you say?
It's not a good idea. We have a high humidity here, and masonite and high humidity, they don't play well together. And we have been very blessed. There's just so much stuff we'd like to share with you. Like, this whole house has been re-sided with 3/4-inch Thermax insulation underneath the metal steel siding, and we have right around $3,000 invested in new windows and new siding. We just feel that God has opened so many doors.
Yes, we've been
for us,
blessed.
and that's kind of, we wanted to share that part with you too. I mean, every time we turn around, we have obsolete Anderson wood windows, and I went to Menards. We have 7 windows, and 2 oddballs we had to order, and they had 7, the exact size we needed, sitting on the floor at a discounted price. If I would have ordered them, it would have taken 2 to 3 months. And the siding, the steel, we got from a local pole barn company, and we had less than $2,500 in the steel.
Well, we were blessed that just because the prices went up, they didn't jack their prices up on stuff that they already had.
Yeah.
So
we got the lower prices. We bought at the right time.
yes.
And my son, bless his heart, him and his business partner drove all the way from Montana to here and spent a week and re-sided the house, insulated it, repaired a lot of the termite damage. The back corner of our house sits 3/4 inch higher than now than it used to. We've just been blessed in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. I think that we'll probably cut this short now because we're running out of time, but we'll be back, and we'll keep you posted on all the things that we're working on, and there is a lot of projects around here to do. And the thing about being senior citizens is that we do what we can, and when we can't, we don't, and when we feel like we can do it again, we start back up. So
Yeah, I did want to share a little bit about our choices and the timing as to why we moved when we did. I retired several years earlier than I had planned on, and Dana got laid off due to COVID.
yes,
And we had looked at the Sedalia area for years thinking we'd like to move to that area someday. We didn't quite make it to Sedalia, but we're good with where we're at.
this was perfect.
And we had put more money in our house in Ohio than we could ever recover from it. But the markets went up there just like they did here. And we basically woke up one morning when our unemployment ran out and said, we just feel like it's time to move. We feel like God was leading us to move.
Yeah.
And we sold our house immediately, bought this one immediately. It sounds crazy, but we were blessed in the fact that this house was not capable of passing a bank loan inspection. And that's the reason we were able to get it. And we got it for less than the asking price. Still probably too high. But the fact is we had enough left over to pay cash for this. And we have been downsizing now for the last 2 or 3 years, trying to get our expenses and our living lifestyle down to what our projected income was going to be. And we are at that projected income right now. We are on strictly Social Security. And we are able to live pretty comfortably off of that. And we are just really, really blessed. But by moving to Missouri, we immediately saved $750 a month just in taxes and house payment. So God has blessed us in many ways. He has provided for us, and we just want to thank you for this opportunity to share a couple things with you and how we got here, why we moved here, and what we're all about.
Yeah, well, more to come in future videos. And we just thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share it, as they all say. And until the next video, God bless you.
And Bruce and Falcon say goodbye.
Yes.